Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, apparently some of us aren't immune to migraines, so ignore the sunglasses.
Yeah, it's cool. Maybe I should go put mine on.
Yeah, that's kind of weird seeing you without glasses. It's been just when I got used to you wearing glasses, you lose them and you look. And then I have to readjust, and then you find them again. And then I got to sit here and keep relearning.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them at all.
Well, I don't like them either, but apparently they're useful.
Yeah, you're going to have to get some. Now you're sitting in front of a computer all day.
Yeah, and these studio lights. I'm excited for our new studio coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yeah, we can actually have some decent light without having to stare at the studio lights in front of us.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. Although turning them up to the ceiling definitely helped.
Oh, yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah. That was funny. That what was it, the second or third day? Kelsey was here and she was like, or you were like, do you not get headaches after that? She was like, yeah, he gets super bad migraines as soon as y'all get done. I was like, yeah, it's because we're staring at these lights.
Yeah. Blaring in our face the whole time.
Yeah. Hey, turning them up seemed to help you.
No, it helped so much. That was incredible. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It's amazing what just a little difference. What happened to those giant lights that we had when we were doing the timer videos with the umbrellas and everything?
I still have them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still got them.
How come we didn't use those?
They're just big and bulky.
Yeah.
Fall over. I like these lights better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for our new studio. I think it'll be set up better. Plus, I'm fairly certain y'all are going to want to have kids one day, and I don't think we can keep doing podcasts in your extra room.
No. Yeah. No, gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, March 1st, we get to move into our first actual physical warehouse.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Well, we've had some offices here and there, but this will be our first office warehouse combo.
Yeah, combination. Gonna be bouncing around all over the city anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember somebody asked me the other day, they were like, yeah, how did COVID affect y'all? And I was like, man, it really ruined us. And I'm like, as soon as COVID hit, it made us explode.
Yeah.
Because it put everybody at home.
Yeah, COVID was nice. I mean, it was not. I wouldn't say it's nice. It was.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great.
It did help us out.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah, I think this our podcast has been stirring the pot. I knew it was gonna, but that's okay. There's some people out there that some people are getting it. We've been getting a lot of good feedback. Some people out there are not. They're not. They're hearing, but they're not listening. They're not.
Okay.
They're not catching the message, or maybe they are, but they don't comprehend what we're saying or how to implement it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's all of it. I don't know. I see a lot of. I really don't know. But we're still going to keep putting the message out for the people that are taking it to heart. That's who we're talking to. Anybody that is tunnel vision down the wrong path, hopefully we can help you. And if not, then whatever.
Be truthfully honest, anybody that argues with the fact that they can't afford to do certain things, those are the people we want to talk to.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to help them. I saw a guy the other day. He wasn't talking about us. He was talking about that he had been in business for 30 years and didn't like advertising, and there was no need for it. And I looked at his profile, and it was just him by himself in an unmarked truck doing all the work himself. And it's like, do you want?
Well, I mean, again, we've talked about that too. If you're just trying to go to work for yourself, just to support yourself and your own lifestyle, then that's great.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to do that. His post was like, there's no need for advertising. It's a waste of money. I've been doing this 30 years, never needed it. And it's like, well, not everybody wants to work by themselves for 30 years.
Yeah, some people want to build a legacy. Some people might want to build, just a bigger small business,
Mm-hmm.
Have a name, have something to, like you the other, like you, the people were like, man, I see y'all's, when you went to that birthday party, man, I see y'all's vehicles all the time. Some people want that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just got to figure out what you want. I think we always talk about the first steps. I think the first real step is figuring out what you want. There's a ton of first steps, but you really need to figure out what you want. I mean, you don't have to be $100 million. It could be 10 million. It could be 5 million. And if you only want to just work by yourself, then that's fine. But our advice isn't really geared towards you. And I don't know, to say advertising doesn't work. It does work. That guy probably just had some bad experiences with it. Advertising should work like there's a vending machine. I put $1 in, I get $10 back out. That's how ours works.
Yeah. It's a 10x return.
Yeah, or 5x, 15x. But if there was a machine that you could put $1 in and get $5 back, would you not put as many dollars as you could into it? I mean, I would.
Yeah.
I'd be looking for as many dollars as I could find.
Yeah.
Stick into that thing,
Yeah.
It's
advertising is definitely worked. I mean, we can what percentage of our calls come from LSA ads?
Oh, a percentage, I don't know. I would say
the percentage in Service Titan.
Yeah, I don't know if it doesn't really break it down by percentage.
Yes, it does.
It breaks it down on dollar. I mean, there's probably a report on there, but I haven't looked at it.
I think it's like 60%.
It might be. It's a big percentage.
Yeah, where you look at the booking rate and stuff, or the campaigns and stuff. When you do year to date, it'll tell you. It does tell you revenue, but it also tells you, like, when you're looking at the graph, there's somewhere.
Oh yeah.
It tells you percentage. I think Google LSA is like 60%.
Yeah. And people get so tunnel. I mean, they have one bad experience or something, and then they get so tunnel vision down the wrong path.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty easy to do. I mean, we've done that.
Well, no, that's what I wanted to talk about too. Is if you're stuck down that wrong path, and then you hear somebody like us saying something else, your first thought shouldn't be, "Oh, those guys are wrong. They don't know what they're talking about." You should be thinking, "I wonder why they're saying that," or how can I? They're making it work. How can I make it work? That was my thought.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, because
I've been doing this 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. Well, maybe you don't. It's okay to be a little wrong. We've been wrong. I mean,
have we been wrong plenty of times?
Yeah, I know. Jeez, we were tunnel vision down the wrong path until somebody, pretty much told us, "You guys don't know what you're doing. You're doing everything wrong. You have to fix it."
Yeah, and they told you that if we didn't. I remember that first conversation you told us that the guys were like, if y'all don't make a change, y'all are gonna be out of business in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And see, if you tell people,
and that might have been, I think looking back at it now, I think that was a little harsh. I don't think that was necessarily true, but it got the point across of we needed to do something. I don't think we would have went out of business necessarily, but I don't think we would have ever expanded.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have expanded, but I think we would have went out of business had we kept trying to expand and kept doing things.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, if we kept trying to expand and doing things the way we would have went out of business. But, and if you tell people, a lot of these people, they're so stubborn in the way they're doing things, and if you tell them, "You're doing it wrong, you need to change," they get so hurt. They're like, "Well, I've been doing this way for so long. What do you mean I don't know what I'm doing?" "Yeah, I do. It's worked this way, so it's been working so far." Well, it's not really working as good as it could be. I mean, when I was told that, it kind of shook me, but I was like, okay. Well, now he didn't tell me what to do. He just told me what my end goals needed to be. And then we just had to figure out how to get there. I mean, that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and we've been working that plan ever since. It never stops.
No.
once you...
The further you get in, the more into it, the more you got to put in.
Yeah. So I wanted to go over that because we had some questions of, we say one of the first things you need to do is to get a CSR. And some people say, well, how do you expect a one-man show to get a CSR? Well, how, they're thinking, well, we can't afford that. That goes back to you. You have to charge to where you want to be, not for where you are.
Now, keep in mind that somebody said the same thing.
I did say the same thing. That's what I want to get into our story of where we were and how we got to where we are. So when we first started, it was this guy in a truck with one other guy, had been Michael. They were the two guys. Well, really, you were riding around with Clint.
Yeah.
Well, we'll skip to where it was you in the truck by yourself.
And Michael.
And Michael's in a truck by himself. And I was in the office taking all the calls. And we'll just skip to that part. And my whole job was to book calls. Y'all were running the calls. Y'all were running 6 calls? I would schedule y'all 6 calls a day, and oftentimes y'all would run 7 or 8 calls a day.
I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm laughing at myself because I'm starting to get nauseous from my migraine, and I'm also getting nauseous thinking about that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was a headache.
Michael,
6 jobs a day,
7 to 8. Michael's in a plain white van. You were in a brown Chevy truck
with one seat.
Yeah, we had to take all the seats out so we could put all the storage stuff in it.
Yeah,
inside the cab and in the bed.
The little Walmart kids drawers.
We had no money.
No iPad. Michael had an iPad. I was using my cell phone.
Yeah, we were on Jobber.
$300 a backflow.
Yeah, and we were doing some things right. One of the guys calling now. We were doing some things right. We started off charging flat rate, using Jobber, but our flat rate prices were built off an hourly rate, and that hourly rate was probably about $120 an hour. I mean, we were charging like $120 for a pipe leak, $300 for a backflow, $25 for a sprinkler head.
Where's that bucket at?
Yeah. I mean, our prices were cheap, and we were still getting told you're too expensive.
Yeah, and then he was always like, y'all got to push for sales. Y'all got to push for sales. And I'm like, how?
Yeah. And
Jobber doesn't let you make options. I can think of a lot of times where I made options just telling them, well, we could do it this way or we could do it this way. Just telling them, feeding them prices like that and just trying everything.
Yeah, but you can't present options on Jobber.
No.
We didn't have any extra money for software and just stuff like that. I didn't have a business phone line. It was using my personal phone. They were just calling me, sitting there just taking calls, booking them right on Jobber. Y'all running so many calls a day, and they would run 6-7 calls a day and only pull in maybe like $800 to $1,000 a day. The average ticket was so low.
Yeah, and I remember, here's the funny thing. Until you figured it out, he used to think he was doing so good at taking the calls and everything was going good. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. And I remember distinctively, y'all were pulling in like $800, $1,000 a day off 6 calls. And I remember I was like, we have to make more money. That first winter was tough. We got to that first winter. By the time we hit February, I was out of money. Barely. I didn't even think. Sometime in February, I did payroll that last time right before March, and I was like, that's it. If we don't get work coming in, I don't have money for payroll the next go around. And but we made it through, and
yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that itch in your voice.
Yeah, scared as hell. That was the first year. Very tough. Very tough. But I remember thinking we have to make more money. And I was so tunnel vision into thinking, well, how are we going to make more money? We have to run more jobs. I need route density. Instead of running 6-7 calls a day, I need y'all running 10 calls a day. I remember talking with Michael about that. Like, I need y'all running 10 calls a day. I need all of your calls within like a 5-mile radius. I need y'all just knocking these suckers out. I was thinking like coming from mowing yards where I was doing mowing 20 yards a day. I was thinking, I need y'all doing 10 sprinkler calls a day. I need to get y'all up to $1,300-$1,400 a day.
We would have fired you.
Yeah, well, I should have been fired. I was going down. I was so tunnel vision down the wrong path. Wasn't even thinking about what.
Well, and it's not that your idea didn't make sense. It was just like a little piece of the big puzzle.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was just.
Route density is part of the game, but that was all you were focused on.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was focused on.
And if you had done that, that probably would have lasted about a month.
Yeah, oh man. And we, like I said, we were doing pay for performance. We had a pay structure set up where y'all can make bonuses, but we were charging so little that y'all never made any bonuses.
I think the first or second year, whichever one it was, I think I got into the bonus pay twice.
Yeah, I mean, it was terrible. No benefits for anybody. Ragged out, driving a ragged out truck. Michael's in an unwrapped van. Nothing. I'm working out of my dad's. I'm living with my dad. Working out of an office upstairs in my dad's house.
Yeah, or we could hear the AC kick on.
Yeah. Our website's one that I built on WordPress.
Which wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. No, I learned how to build a good website. But the thing is, though, that website took 20 hours a week almost to freaking maintain. It was a pain. That website took so much to do. That was a nightmare. But anyways, because I was thinking, all right, we got to get to 10 jobs, and I'm scheduling 2 guys, 6 jobs a day. That's 12 jobs total. I need more jobs. I got in contact with a marketing agency. I was listening to Tommy Mello's podcast. Some of you may have heard of Tommy Mello. You should look him up. He preaches all the same stuff we do. And I was following kind of his guidance. And I heard this guy named Josh Kelly, who runs a consulting firm and a marketing agency. Josh Kelly's family owns a $250 million home service business out of one city in Phoenix, which is insane. I mean, like less than 1% of businesses will ever get to $100 million. And the ones that do usually have to get in multiple cities. They're doing $250 million in one city. They were talking about, peak days, they'll get over 6,000 calls in one day. It's just nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, so I called him up, and I got to talk with Josh. He was the owner of the consulting firm and the marketing agency. He's part of that family that helped grow that business. Got to talk with Josh, and he started asking me some serious questions because I wanted to hire him. I said, we need more leads. I need to grow. He started asking me some serious questions. He's the one that gave me the smackdown back to reality. Taught me some hard lessons. And that's what we're trying to teach everybody else. But he asked me, the first thing, I don't remember what the first thing he asked, but he asked me, what's your booking rate? And at the time, I said, I don't know. I don't have a way to track it. And he said, well, he said, well, who's taking your calls? I said, I am. He said, okay, do you have any training? I said, no. So I can pretty much guarantee it's under 50%, and it's probably under 40%. So
he was right.
Yeah, he was right. He said, you need to figure out what your booking rate is. And when I figured it out, it was like 35%. And I had to do that manually. I had to go to Verizon, download my call logs for the last month, delete all the duplicates, delete like his number from him calling me, delete Michael's number, delete my dad's number out of there, get the raw list of random numbers calling me, and check them with the customers that were in Jobber at the time and see which jobs were booked. Came out to about 35%. Terrible booking rate. That's why I know that any of you out there that are working the field and booking the calls, I already know your booking rate sucks, because my sole job was to be in the office booking calls, and my booking rate sucked. So he asked me that. Then he asked me how many technicians I had. Told him 2. Said, what's their average ticket? I said, I don't know. I don't have a way to track it. Jobber doesn't track that stuff. I said, just looking at the last few jobs, I said, like, this job was done for $220. This one was done for $120. This one's $150. He was like, man, so your average ticket's less than $200. I said, yeah, most likely. He said, that is garbage. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and it is. And he was brutally honest. And he said, that is garbage. How many jobs are they running today? I said, 6. He was like, so you have less than $200 average ticket. You're running 6 jobs a day. They're making what, $1,000 a day? And I was like, if we're lucky, we're making $1,000 a day. That's a good day. He was like, man, he's like, so you're missing calls. Your guys are burning through leads. You don't need a marketing company. You don't need more leads. He said, you are just bleeding money all over the place. What he said, he asked me what my conversion rate was. I said, I don't know. I have no way to track that. I still don't know what it was. I don't have any way to track that. So what percentage of your jobs result in a sold quote that's not a service call? I still don't know what it was really. I could just tell off the first few questions.
Something was wrong.
Yeah, this everything is way wrong here. He said, you have got to get your booking rate to 85% or higher, 90%. It at least needs to be above 80. And he told me what his was at the time. I don't remember. But he said yours needs to be 85 to 90%. You got to get your average ticket to at least $400. And that should not be a goal. That should be a minimum. And conversion rates, really, we want to see like 70%, 80%, 90%. It just needs to be as high as possible on the conversion rates. Especially for service. Install is a little different, but for just repair calls, your conversion rate needs to be high. So, and some people say like, I go by the 70-30 rule. That's not a rule. That's just something somebody made up. If you can have, Tommy Mello says their service conversion rate is 90%. If you can get a 90% conversion, that's awesome. So he talked about that. You need to get a minimum of $400 average ticket, 85% booking rate. And then he said, you guys run 6 jobs a day. They need to be back down to 4 calls a day. And then you could bring in a third guy and have him run 4 calls a day. Now you have 3 technicians instead of 2.
Working off the same leads.
Working off the same 12 jobs you're running total. And if you get all of their average tickets to $1,200, you'd be making, if y'all were making barely $1,000 off 6, and then you get 3 guys making $1,600 off 4, you're making way more money. Way more money. You already are just way more profitable.
Yeah. You don't have to spend any more in advertising. You just have to clean up what you got.
Yeah, that's just cleaning up what you have. You're not spending more in advertising. You haven't even changed your booking rate. You're just taking the same 12 jobs and making more money off of them. And then you get your booking rate up past 35%. And then if you can go from 35%, so already we would go from 2 to 3, and then you double your booking rate from 35 to 70, which isn't even that great. Then you can go from 3 to 6 technicians, just like that. He just gave me a plan. He said, this is how you do it. So you're at 2, here's how you get to 6. If you can do these things, you can get to 6 technicians just like that and be making way more money. And that's what he told me. He didn't tell me how to do it. He just said, this is what you have to do that. And it was our job to figure it out. You remember that first meeting we had when I came back and I said, all right, y'all have been running 6 jobs a day. I'm only going to give you 4 now.
Yeah, we were so happy until you said the rest of it.
Yeah. And we went back and pretty much tripled prices.
Yeah, you went through them. I think. You went through. Yeah, you went through everything. You changed all of our prices. told us you didn't say we need to do this. You said we have to do this.
Mm-hmm. And that was the thing. When I hear, a lot of people, they hear stuff like that, and you get told the brutally honest truth that you're doing everything wrong, pretty much. That's what I got out of it. And you think, screw that guy, man. I'm not going to listen to him. I know what I'm doing. I didn't take that. I took that. It's like, oh, he's right. I got to figure out how to do this. I didn't hear that it can't be done in our industry. It can't be done in our area. Not in our city. You don't know Boise, Idaho. You don't know this. I didn't hear any of that. I heard,
this is what you got to do to win.
This is what we have to do to win. How am I going to do this? Let's come up with a plan to do it. And in a weekend, I doubled some prices, tripled some prices, came back. Here's the new prices. You only have 4 jobs a day.
Figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much. And we didn't even have a sales process. We weren't offering options. Nothing. Just did it. Just raised prices.
Yeah. And just like that, a few months later, we got that third guy.
Yeah, and got the third guy. And what happened when we raised prices?
Started to actually make money. Everything started to fly.
I was going to say, yeah, nothing happened. The same people that said no still said no. The same people that said yes still said yes.
Oh, well, that too, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, things got better. No.
Yeah, as we've grown, because I still got some of our guys saying, well, man, this seems too high for this. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here thinking about how one time he made our service call like $20 and people were complaining about that.
Yeah, people complain about it all the time. They're just going to complain. People were complaining about a backflow of $300, and we were like, "Is that too high? What about if we raise it to $450? Is that going to be too high?" Stop thinking like you're thinking about it all wrong. You're thinking about it all wrong.
Yeah, as long as the customer's happy, then you're good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
As long as you're just not astronomically ridiculous.
Well, and what's astronomically ridiculous? I know I can name 3 plumbing companies right now that charge $4,000 for a backflow for a double check.
Yeah, a 3/4 one.
So what's ridiculous?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And they do that consistently. That's not a one-time thing. That's consistently.
Yeah, people are leaving good reviews about it.
And I've seen the good reviews about it. That's how I know that's what they charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. So really I would say the first 2 steps are figure out where you want to go and then change your mindset and stop being so negative about things. Figure out you can make changes. Things can go well for you. You just have to figure out what your end goal is and reverse engineer it, work it backwards. And I said, okay, well, our average ticket's like 150, 160. We got to triple that. Well, the easiest way to do that is triple prices. Let's do it. Let's just see what happens. Let's just run an experiment. Let's see what happens. If anything, I can lower the prices.
Yeah.
Always bring them back down.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, what are you really losing by raising them? You can bring them back down if it doesn't work.
Yeah. You don't lose anything. No big deal. Yeah, it's, people were talking about on these posts in here, saw guys saying, we do well enough. I charge $150 an hour. But then you see the same people to say like, we grow $150 an hour, but I gross $180,000 a year. That's not that good, And you still see the same people that are like, yeah, but I can't afford the CSR. I can't afford the insurance. I can't afford to hire. I can't afford that $4,000 wrap seems too expensive. It's like, well, yeah, because you're not charging enough. It's like it's all correlated.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember because Michael was in that van and I was in a truck and I was like, hey man, when am I gonna get a truck with some seats or at least a van or just something that doesn't have like 500,000 miles and it had like stain all in the back of it and stuff. And I'm like, when do I get something? You're like, dude, I don't looking at how much money we're making, I don't know when we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even you didn't even want to say at the time. You're like, dude, I don't know if we can.
Yeah. Yeah, we were in a tight spot. But we also weren't afraid to experiment and do something a little different.
Yeah. What do we got? What do we got to lose? What did we really have to lose?
Nothing to lose.
We only had everything to gain.
Mm-hmm. And so many people. That's the case for so many people out there. I find it odd that so many people have the guts to quit their job and start a business. Right, that takes guts. They have the guts to do that, but then at some point they lose all of that courage. Like, quit their job, go out on their own, and then all of a sudden all their courage is gone, and they won't take any more steps forward. You know?
Well, it's one of those things. Everybody thinks it's easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
The easiest part about the endeavor actually is quitting your job.
Yeah, that really is the easiest part. That is the easiest part.
We've met and known people that have done it. Quit their job, started a business. Business closed down, they go back to work.
Yep. Certainly have.
Yeah, we've seen one guy do it 3 times.
Yeah.
He's back at it again.
Yeah.
We love you, Jared, but
yeah. Maybe lucky number 4.
Yeah, and he should have been your light bulb that came on, because he was good at upselling stuff and making sales. He was great,
killer, man.
I mean, that should have been your light bulb, like right there. But it wasn't.
No.
It took us another 9 months to figure it out.
Yeah. It took us a while.
Yeah, because y'all brought him in, and he was great. Even Michael was like, man, he's good. He's doing this and this and this, and we just never did any of that.
No, I know, yeah. We just didn't.
We just went on about our merry way.
Yeah. And that's often what happens. It takes you a while to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. You get the wrong idea. And people ask us, well, how can we afford to get a CSR? You charge for the CSR even before you have them. And you don't even look at it as the CSR isn't an expense, man. They're an investment. Everything that we pay for is an investment. If you, like I said, if you double your booking rate, all of a sudden you have way more calls. You have way more jobs. They set the tone for how the call's going to go. They're building value for your customers. They're getting the customers primed for you to get there. You don't even have to think about, is your schedule full? They keep your schedule. If you're one guy, you hire a CSR, now your schedule's full for 6 weeks, 4 weeks, however long she can keep you booked out. Is that not worth the money?
Yeah, he definitely is.
It's worth whatever her salary costs.
Well, it's worth the money when the one person it's only worth the money for as long as the person that's running those jobs is not burning the leads.
Yeah, that's true, and you can't be burning the leads.
Because you can go up to an 85% booking rate, but if you got a guy that's just bleeding leads and you're only making like $100 a stop, that's
not going to be worth it.
You're going to do 2 things. You're going to bleed out enough money to where you have to cut that, get rid of that CSR anyway, or you're going to have to figure out, you'll end up having to get rid of that tech. You'll lose that technician because he'll get tired of running 10 calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
There's something too, you got to think about, when you're running a business and you've got people, you always want the best for your business. You know what you would do, but sometimes you got to remember that might not be what everyone's going to do, because if you're, and I think that's the only thing that stopped you from scheduling us 10 jobs a day is you were like, the key factor is he thought about it and he was like, that's not sustainable. That can't be right.
Yeah. No.
10 calls a day, you could probably do it in the busy season if you needed to catch up, they could probably do it for a few days, but as far as doing that every day, that's not sustainable. Eventually, maybe one person's okay with it, you never hear a complaint. The next person comes in like, no, this is bullcrap.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You'll have a high turnover rate, which you don't want.
No, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I probably would have only done it if I could guarantee that there was no more than like a 5-minute drive between them. But even then, you don't want 10 jobs. And I've heard other people say, oh, we run 10 stops a day. If you tell me you run 10 stops a day, I know from experience now that you're not maximizing those leads. because we've been through it. We've already done it.
Yeah.
A good technician should really run no more than 3 or 4. I mean, if I could get my guys to only run 2, then I'm happy. The fewer, the better. Because that also opens up, that means they're making money, and now you have more availability for more technicians, which equals more money. You know, and you can't think about all of this stuff in a vacuum. All of this stuff builds on each other. It's like an engine to a car. You can't just decide that I'm going to take out the fuel pump and then expect anything to work, you know?
No. It doesn't work.
All this works together. You got to have the high booking rate. You got to have the high conversion rate. You got to have the high average ticket. The technician's got to be happy. You got to have a good paper performance plan. You got to have the price book dialed in. Everything. Like you just keep on adding. Next thing you know, you have a finely tuned engine. And then that can be overwhelming to some, because a lot of people, I think, just want to get their hands dirty. But that's not what running a business is. Running a business has very little to do with the actual work. We will leave the actual work to the technicians. We're over here fine-tuning processes. That's what running the business is.
Making it more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know nothing about irrigation.
Yeah, very little.
Other than whatever they taught you to get your license.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at the hydraulics.
Yeah. I would love to put you out there on a complex wiring job, or, you know, a weird leak. I'd love to put you out there and see how long it takes you.
No, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can fix leaks. I know about plumbing, but
yeah. But my question for you would be, can you figure it out?
I mean, if the leak is bubbling up, I can fix it.
I mean, I do remember us going out to an HOA one time, and it took us 4 hours. 4 hours to plumb in a valve, like a 2-inch valve. Got it all done. Fuck, it's in backwards.
Yeah.
Cut all that crap back out again.
Yeah.
The cool thing was you looked like you knew what you were doing too. You just had it, gluing it, cutting everything, making sure it was all straight, perfect, lines up real nice, wired it all up. It looked pretty when you got done. It was just backwards.
Yeah, I'm really good at making it look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and as soon as we turned it on and started jackhammering, you're like, I don't know. It's not leaking. Oh, that was a terrible day.
Now, I don't know. I don't remember where I was. And
I tried to forget.
You definitely gotta start thinking about, if you're gonna grow anyways, like I said, we're not talking to the people that just want to grow or just want to be by themselves. It's, just keep doing you, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, please don't be giving advice to people that do want to grow.
Because your advice is worthless.
Yeah. Your advice is not worthless. Your advice is only good for somebody that wants the same thing you do.
It's a better way, nicer way to put it.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's a time, there was a time for us to be as cheap as we were. There was a time for that. And we got to that certain point where it was time for a change, you know. I highly doubt anybody can just start out with this process. You know, you just make little changes at a time. One change at a time.
Well, you definitely do. I still think you have to charge for where you want to go. So I think you got to get your prices up quickly. But you can't
quickly, not instantly, because you do still have to build a little bit of a reputation.
Yeah,
because I can guarantee you with the price. If you give me the price book that we have right now, and you go find that free truck that I was rolling around, and I'll go back out there in that truck again with no uniform, with all that crap just thrown in that truck, I guarantee you I'll go up there and I'll pitch them with our price, and I'll have a conversion rate of 5%.
Yeah, it does all build on each other, and that's just like we were talking about with the engine. I mean, it's your uniforms, it's your branding, it's your website, it's your reviews. Your website can't look like it was made 10 years ago. Yeah. You got to have good reviews.
On a Word document.
Yeah. It needs to look modern. Got to have good reviews. Got to have the uniform. Are you showing up? Do you have iPads? Yes or no? I mean, everything just builds on top of it. That's how you build value. How do people answer the phones? What's that process like? Even if you have a CSR, do they suck on the phone? Are they good?
Yeah, because you can get a bad CSR.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, our CSRs do training weekly with a third-party coach. So, I mean, we get reviews just from our CSR. People saying, "Oh man, they're so awesome." You know, by the time we get out there, they're like, "I don't, who that lady was on the phone, Kelly. Man, she's so nice."
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. They want them setting the stage for you. By the time you get out there, they already feel like they know you and they like you.
Everything works with itself.
Mm-hmm. It's all put together. You start thinking about this is the difference between working in the business and working on the business. If you haven't read the E-Myth, well, read the E-Myth. That's what that whole book is about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I would say stop looking at cost as expenses and look at them as investments. When I heard, we knew we wanted Service Titan because there's $100 million companies running Service Titan. And when they come and tell me, hey, it's $40,000 a year for Service Titan versus the $100 a month Jobber is, you got $1,200 a year or $40,000 a year. I don't say, holy crap, I can't afford it. It's too much. I'll never do that. It's not worth it. That's not my thought. My thought is, okay, $40,000 a year, there's probably a reason why. How much will this make me? That's my thought.
There's a reason it's $40,000 a year.
Yeah. What is this going to make me? If I pay you $40,000, what are you going to give me back? And I think it's given us it's given us a lot. So then I'll say, okay, that's fine. If you're going to deliver on all these promises that you have, then I'll pay the $40,000 a year.
And it worked.
Man, it's worked. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go to anything else.
Yeah, outside of having our own software built that works the same way, I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah, no, but you see people talking about, oh, I'm looking for software. This one, and they're price shopping it. They're not value shopping it. They're price shopping it. They don't like price shopping customers, but then they're a price shopping customer also. It's like, dude, that's not the way. You can't be that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we learned the hard way, barely getting there, you got to spend the money, even when it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we've done things too early too.
Yeah, we have.
But I'd rather do it too early and grow into it. I'll charge for where I'm going, and I'll do something a little early and I'll grow into it. Just say, oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, we'll just have to hire 2 more people and make up for that. But I mean, is our net profit going to drop 5% this year? Maybe, but we'll get 2 more people and we'll make it up. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying that's kind of our mindset. Aggressive growth. I don't know. Change your mindset.
Come a long way. I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. And I wanted people to see that too, because they get so caught up in this. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. You don't even know what you can and can't afford. Because I was nervous. I was nervous about raising our price. I was nervous about, is it the right time to hire a CSR? Can we afford it? It's an office staff, do they even make money? It's just going to be an added expense. I would never not have a CSR now. After watching the booking rate shoot up like that, would never not have one.
Yeah, never.
It'd never go back the other way. Just like with Service Titan. Oh, it's $40,000 a year. Is that too much? Never not have it.
No, it was worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Took a little bit to get used to it, but it was way worth it. It's way better than Jobber.
Yeah. Yeah. People look at, they always talk about like SEO services, marketing agencies. I found this guy, he's $1,000 a month. They wouldn't even believe our marketing agency.
No.
$60,000 a year. Worth it.
Yep. It work. Everything works. As dumb as it sounded when we signed up for it, it all works.
Yeah, and then every time we do it, we go in there like clenching, just like, I don't know. Are we going to sign up for a marketing agency? It's $4,000 a month. The first one we had was almost $7,000 a month.
Yeah, that one didn't really work that well.
That one didn't work that well. You got to track this stuff too. Now we have a good one. But we don't shop on price. We shop on value. If you say it's $7,000 a month, what are you promising me in return? You promise me all this? Can you deliver on all that? Then I'll sign up for it. If you don't deliver, I'm out. This next one, it's a little cheaper. Can you deliver on all the stuff you promised? Yes? Okay, let's see. Let's see how you do. We'll sign up for it. I don't know. I think people get too caught up in the price, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the price is sometimes a fair argument, but sometimes you got to think about why is it expensive? Not that's too expensive, but why is it that expensive?
Yeah. I mean, the price is a fair question. I just always think, yeah, why is it, and what do I get back out of it? If you're charging this, what do I get? And if I get the value that's worth, let's go. Let's do it. And like I said, you got to charge for all that. Your customer pays for everything. Charge for all that. You add something, increase your price a little bit. The more technicians you have, the easier that is. A $60,000 marketing agency across 10 technicians isn't that much money to increase your price. That's not that bad.
That makes sense. Come a long way in the last few years.
Yeah, we started in 2020, and that 2020 was rough. 2021 was less rough.
2022 was less rough.
Yeah.
Just a little bit better, and then just we keep increasing. Even now, we're increasing.
Yeah, I think in January we were up 85% over last January.
Yeah, and then I still think it's funny. I guarantee you, most of the guys are like, "Oh, well, I made this, yada yada yada." Okay, well, did you do Christmas lights? Did you do landscape lighting? Did you do mowing? What all do you do? Because we do one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We get more phone calls in the winter because everybody here, minus the big companies, they just shut down. They just tell their guys to take a vacation.
Yeah, I've seen people saying take a vacation. I've seen some guys that fire their employees and have them file for unemployment.
Yeah. Seasonal work.
Yeah. Well, they bring them back, but they just want to fire them so they can get unemployment, and they don't have to pay them.
Yeah. I mean, that's a strategy. It's
a strategy. You're just going to pay more in taxes.
Yeah. This is something we've never needed.
Or unemployment benefits or whatever.
We've been able to survive in the winter months, with memberships and calls that we get. I mean,
yeah, we build that into our price. We take our expenses and then account for the winter off time and build all that into our price. So we're charging for the winter time in the spring and summer and fall times.
Yeah.
It's like revolutionary. Once I figured all that out, once I heard about how you could do that, I was like, holy cow, really? I can charge for January and August? Like, man, really?
Like the guy was telling you, the time to think about winter is not when it comes, it's the previous one.
Yeah.
So right now you should be thinking about next winter.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking about next summer now.
Yeah.
We already got the stuff for this year set in place. Start planning next year.
Yeah. And we're actively charging for this coming winter.
Mm-hmm.
All year.
Yeah. We're getting memberships. We're getting monthly revenue. That was another thing, too. That was another thing on that list of man, that seems stupid, but that would never work.
Yeah, it works.
It's just, I don't know. It's just weird how everything, for us, it's been the thing that doesn't make sense. It's not going to work, but let's try it. What do we got to lose? That's the thing that works.
Yeah.
Not the thing that we look at and we're like, yes, that's what we need right there. That's going to work. That one never works.
Mhm.
It never
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Don't listen to these naysayers on the Facebook group. 'Cause, I mean,
You know, and I do like, you know, bringing, you know, like Tom, you know, I do like bringing those guys on the show. You know, it helps spread the word, but I think I'm looking forward to our guest next week and maybe any other guests we can get on that line, because I think those are the people we need to be talking with.
yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested. Yeah. I think once he gets on here, he'll see. We're going to answer some questions. Maybe we should do like a dang call in. Like call us in. That'd be cool. Can we hook the phone into this?
What do you mean?
I have people call in. Like, yeah, we're going, like, not live, but just call in at this time. We'll answer your questions right here.
Yeah, we'd have to hook in. We might be able to use Phones Pro to do it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll get off there. But
yeah, I think we're a little ways from call-ins. We got to keep building guests.
that would be cool.
You know, and you know, we can bring, you know, small-time guys that, you know, are tired of just working for themselves. They want to grow. They want to scale. You know, they want to build a legacy. They want to have something where, you know, even if your goal is just to make enough money where you don't have to do anything, that's still, to me, that's not a bad goal, because that's going to require you to do the same things that everybody else is doing to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If your goal is to just, well, I don't want to work anymore, well, you're going to have to do the same things that we are.
Yeah. You're certainly going to have to front load your work now.
Yeah.
Not physical work, mental work.
Yeah. Or just make enough money that you can delegate it to anybody where you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be something you're going to have to build into your price too. If you're just going to delegate everything off and you're not going to do anything, touch nothing, or cut costs, just live for yourself, and you're going to want to pay yourself, you know, you're going to have to scale for that.
Yeah. Some people do that.
We need to bring people that want to expand on the show, give them a chance to maybe self-promote a little bit, and just talk to them.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think everybody needs to have a discussion like you did with that marketing agency. What is this? That's garbage. What is this? No, that's not going to work. What's your booking rate? That's garbage. What's your average ticket? That's bullshit. That's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta. What are you doing? What are you charging? How are you charging? What are you doing? Like, we can do what they weren't able to do for you, and we can break it down and not only figure out what the problem is, but have the solution for the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know the industry. All he knew was he didn't know the irrigation industry, but he knew home services. And gave me some KPIs I needed to hit, and we ended up hitting them. We figured out how to hit them. Now, he said $400 minimum average ticket. Now we have guys that have a
$700 minimum average.
Yeah, I've seen for an entire month a guy holding an $1,100 average ticket.
Yep. I've seen that happen before.
I mean, the possibility, have some faith.
Don't be afraid to try new things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid, but don't let it, change your judgment. Hell, we were afraid of all of them.
Yeah, you're afraid of everything. You can't have courage without fear.
True. That's a good one.
Yeah. We were afraid to do everything. We still did them. Yeah.
Well, I think we've hit our hour again.
Yep.
Yeah, we have. Well, hopefully this one will help clear things up a little bit, and we can start getting some people in here, and hopefully the next episode or two, we might have a new studio.
Yeah. We have a guest lined up for the next one. We'll probably still be in this studio, and then we should hopefully be in the new studio after that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so then we might have this one, another one, and one more, and then we'll be in the new studio probably.
Yeah.
Because we probably need to do 2 more here so we can backlog and then give us time to set up the new studio.
Yeah, probably so.
Hell, no.
All right, well, yeah, like I said, have some faith. Like and subscribe. Apple, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you can. Submit some questions online, and we'll answer them.
Yep. Don't be afraid to make a change now.
Yeah, let's get it done.
We'll see you.
See ya.